Hey, this is Ralph for JTRpodcast.com, and this is Honshū. This is a trick-taking, map-building card game according to the rulebook, and that's pretty much right, I'll agree with that. Because what you are doing is you are building a map. Everyone's going to start with a card. There are specific cards that everybody's going to start with. One side, the A side that we're playing with, is identical. It's got the same layout. I think your starting resources that you have on your card, resources are these little cubes. They're different colours depending on which card you've got as your starting card. The B side of the starting card is different for everyone, completely different. Players have a hand of cards, and each of those cards has a value, and you're going to be putting those cards forward for a trick, and everybody's going to be doing that one at a time, and then whoever plays the highest value card will get to pick first, and you get to pick from all those that have been put forward in the trick, and you'll add that into your little map, and we'll go through how the game plays now. So you have your little starting card with your little cubes on to start with, and everybody's going to get a random turn order card. These are quite important, they're numbered 1 to 5. The game plays 2 to 5 players, we played with the full 5. And in order of that turn order card, players are going to put a card from their hand into play. You can see here, I started off as number 2, and I put forward this card which has a value of 14. 14 is quite low, I believe it goes up to 60. They're numbered 1 to 60. And when you put your card forward for a trick, obviously mine's worth 14, but what I could do is I could take a cube from anywhere within my city, I could pick up that cube, I could put it on the card, and that will increase its value by 60, obviously in this case bringing it up to a 74. But there are a few rules for that. If you're the first person to do it, you can use any cube from your city. If you're not the first person to do it, then you must use the same colour cube as the people who have gone before you. So if somebody puts a yellow cube on their card, then I must use a yellow cube as well, or I can't increase the value that way. So you go through all the players in turn order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, putting cards down, maybe putting cubes on them, maybe not. And then you sort of rearrange the turn order cards. So whoever's played the highest is going to get number 1, all the way down to whoever's played the lowest value who will get number 5, because we're playing a 5-player game. So the new turn order, starting with player 1, you'll go through and you'll get to pick one of the cards put forward in that trick in order to put it into your map. But there are some rules with that. You have to overlap or underlap a card already in your city. So as you can see on here, the first card I put forward was the number 14 card, and I put it on top of my starting card. The only rule there is some of the little icons on the cards are lakes. You can't build over a lake. That's the only rule you need to look for as well. If on your new card you've got any of these square resource spaces, you put a cube on them. Those are production symbols, and you put a cube of the matching colour. There's 4 different resources for the 4 different colours. There's blue, brown, silver and yellow. And in the same colours with the same symbols are these other little icons on the cards as well. These are factories, and I'll get to those when we talk about endgame scoring. But for now, that's all you're going to do. Once all 5 players have taken all the cards available in that trick, you'll then put a new card forward in the turn order, rearrange turn order, and do it all again. You start with a hand of 6 cards, so you're going to do that 3 times. Then you pass the cards to your left, I think it is, and then you'll play again with the other 3 cards. Then you'll start a new round where you'll get another 6 cards dealt to you, you'll do 3 again, and then you pass 3 to the right, I can't remember. But basically you're getting 6, you're playing 3, you're passing 3, and then you're playing the 3 that you've got passed to you. That's pretty much it. And then you're going to end up with this big sprawling city. It looks very pretty, and that rhymes, it didn't mean to, but you look at this card, because this card has got your endgame scoring on it. And there are 4 ways to score points. Let's start at the top and work our way down. At the top, the forests. For every forest you can see, you score 2 points, that's simple. Next up is the town, and for each town square is worth 1 point, but only in your biggest area of connected town. So you can see in my city here, there's a big section starting at the top and working its way down to the middle. Each one of those connected together is worth 1 point per space. Next up are the factories. Now, I showed you this factory earlier, and you can see next to it, it's got 2 little kind of flower, look like sakura leaves. What that means is, for each yellow cube you deliver to it, you're going to get 2 points. Now, you can only deliver 1 cube per factory, and you sort of move them onto that factory. Now, these factories have got 3 different types, or 3 different values from 2, 3 and 4 points, so depending which one you get and which one you deliver to, depends how many points you're going to score for it. But you can only deliver 1 cube per factory. Now, I'm allowed to break that rule because at the beginning of the game, each player's got a different endgame scoring card, which are secret and only you can score them, and I have this one, which means that I could deliver 2 cubes per factory, so I could take advantage of those big 4-point factories that I managed to get. But I actually didn't know what this endgame scoring card did till the end of the game, so I didn't take advantage of it, but that's okay, I still had fun. And lastly are the lakes. Now, the lakes, as I said, you can't be built over, so it's kind of good to avoid them, just to allow for some flexibility when you're building your city, but they do score you points. So 1 lake is worth 0 points, but each consecutive square is worth 3 points per lake. So you can see here in my end game, I've got 4 lakes in a row, which means I'll score 3, 6, 9 points for my lakes, so that's all good. But they do all have to be connected. And that's it, you add up all the points you've got, whoever's got the most points wins. The tiebreaker is the player who's got the number of yellow fallows. Whoever's got the most of those will break ties, and that's it. I really enjoyed this. It's a very quick, nice game. There's a couple of little things I don't like about it. Sliding the cards underneath other cards when they're already on top of or underneath other cards gets difficult as the game goes on, because you move one card, which moves the card on top of it, which moves the card next to it, etc., and things start to spin around and it gets a bit awkward. Maybe the cards need sleeving so that they lift off the table a little bit and they'll slide under a bit easier, but maybe that just means they'll slide on top a bit easier, I don't know. It was quite difficult to do. Another thing is the auction phase took quite a long time. I know we had sort of one player who was sat on the next table, and communication from us on the left-hand side of the table was difficult with the player on the right-hand side of the table, but that's all fine. But it was a bit slow as people looked at the cards, looked at the board, looked at cards that had already been played down, asked what values there were, and then pick a card from the hand to put it down into play as their trick for this round. And yeah, that took a bit of a long time. It kind of dragged on a bit, but overall the game is really fun. I'll definitely play it again. So that is Honshū. Let me know what you think of this game in the comments below. Remember to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JTRPodcast and find the blog and podcast at jtrpodcast.com. I've been Rob, aka Jesta ThaRogue, and I'll see you soon.